questions. I'm going to kick off with Anthony, and we're going to go right straight into it. Do you believe that you can, on April the 29th, knock out Wladimir Klitschko and move up in levels and cement your place as a real heavyweight champion?
Yeah, well, knockout is the cherry on top, but to win, whichever way, I think is very possible. And this is a fight that can change from champion to legend overnight, right? It's a fight that will get the masses out and draw massive attention, and they're the type of fights that can change the That's the type of fight that can change the way people view you in your industry. So as I said, right now, IBF is the champion of the world, but now it's about beating the right people to go down in history. But it's not doing it once, it's doing it over and over again. So this is just the start of that legendary campaign.
And Wladimir, straight to you, do you believe that you can in some way expose Anthony Joshua on April the 29th as a fighter that's not nearly ready for your level of experience and seasoning?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm really glad and happy to be here at this stadium. Wembley Stadium is famous worldwide, and now Anthony and I will have a chance to perform here on April 29th. And I will describe probably in 5 steps, my dream and what I feel. It's like in the same way, like a boxer cannot punch with 1 finger. Even with 2, he's not strong enough. We have 5, so I have 5 steps. And if I put these 5 steps together, that makes a fist that can punch through anything in life. So, in the first step, my goal and target, to become 3-time world champion. I've been holding myself back for a year and a half, which was first time in my entire 26-year career, and I look forward to be back in the ring at the set to become 3-time world champion. Second, with the second step, all as the consequences. So what is going to happen if Anthony will win this fight? I will congratulate you, and I will congratulate you. When I will win this fight, I will help you to come back. In the third step, obviously I need to have somebody that's going to help me to get myself in the perfect shape. So we'll have sparring partners, my direct competitors that want to knock me out in the ring during the sparring sessions, and we're probably going to look for the same guys because I'm like, or Anthony like me, same size, same arm length, all the same, different colors, but the rest is the same. So those sparring partners will definitely help me to get in the bad shape. In the fourth step, I imagine standing in the middle of this stadium, holding those belts in my hands, to all the fans. We're talking about 80, 90,000, who knows, maybe, somebody gonna get in, standing there, we're gonna get it to 100,000. So, I've been fighting in the stadium, the arena where it was 1999, Axel Schulz, German hero. I was walking in the arena with 18,000 sold out Köln Arena. I was booed until the 5th round, but I was cheered up when I was holding my European title in my hands. So I'm imagining, I have imagination in my head and the dream to hold those belts in my hands. And 5th and the final step, which is very important to me, 5 steps. I'm obsessed with my first step, with my goal to become champion again. Thanks.
You say you're obsessed. Is that because of the performance against Tyson Fury? What went wrong that night? And as you said, you've had time out. It'll be a year and a half before you get back into the ring. What makes you believe that you can perform again at that level and regain those world heavyweight titles?
I would say this setback for a year and a half, by the time I'll be standing in the ring here, I'll be 41. So a year and a half break, is it good? Is it bad? I feel it's good. And I feel that my, so far, last performance was not good. I was not holding, as usually, like in the past, whatever, 1 years and a half, my hand up after the fight. And I would tell you, my motivation is as high as the sky. If it would be different, probably my motivation wouldn't be as good. But you know what, now I have to wake up. You know, it was just a wake-up call before the big match, because before this big event, an extravaganza event. And I would remember right now words of Emmanuel Stewart. He always said to me, Wladimir, your signature fights are gonna come up. We don't know when it's gonna happen, but this man was so right. This is definitely a signature fight for Anthony and for myself. So I look forward.
Anthony, there's always been a lot of respect between the pair of you. I know you've worked in Vladimir's camp, and Vladimir said you're like the heir apparent. What makes you believe that the time is right for you after your 18 knockout wins and a different sort of experience getting to this stage?
What makes me feel that the time is right? I think it's all about winning. At the end of the day, it's another fight. You asked me after the fight how I felt about taking on Klitschko at Wembley, and I was like, doesn't matter where it is, we can fight in here, we can fight there. But when I look back on it and I calm down, it's history, it's an amazing opportunity, and the time is now. It's an opportunity that presented itself, and I'll be silly not to jump at the opportunity to fight Klitschko, because it's a man that I need to defeat, and I said to kind of start building my reputation and respect in the division. And when you listen to me, I've always been honest about how I perform and how I conduct myself and how I've navigated through my career. So 18 months ago, well, when I first turned pro, it was questions after my second pro fight. When are you going to fight him? When are you going to fight him? Give me 2 years. Give me 2.5 years. Then a year ago, they asked me the same question. Give me another year. And right now, we're at a stage where a year ago, we're in the present. So I've always said it to myself, and everything I say to myself kind of comes into reality. So that's what makes the time right, is because I predicted this time 18 months ago.
Okay. Tyson Fury shocked the world, obviously out in Germany by beating Wladimir. Does that give you a game plan? Does that give you tactics, or have you got to do your own thing alongside Robert McCracken?
Yeah, most definitely. No game plan from Tyson Fury. No, I can't really take away anything from watching Klitschko perform that night. Each fight is different, each performance is different, and when I listen to what Klitschko is saying, he's very motivated and obsessed with performing better than he did in his last fight. So if I can defeat that Klitschko that comes April 29th, will show how great of a champion I'm going to be. So I just got to take the positive from it, no problem, and we'll come together and put on a great show.
Vladimir, Anthony had Robert McCracken in the corner for the first time, as you saw on Saturday in Manchester. You've had the great Emmanuel Stewart, you've had Jonathan Banks. I know your brother Vitaly's helped you. What's the team for this one, because it's such a big moment for you? Who's behind you?
The same people that you've seen in the past, so nothing's going to be changed.
The same team, the right team?
Are you calling it wrong? The same right team as it was in the past.
And you're preparing in the same way in Austria, in your camp?
I'll be doing and relying my preparation on the experience that I gained in the ring, and I'm an expert how to prepare and get myself ready. So I will prepare accordingly.
What have you learned from being with Anthony Joshua, both in camp, seeing his development, being at ringside watching him on Saturday, that makes you believe that you will, again, become world heavyweight champion in front of these 90,000 people here at Wembley?
I was, I am, and I will be very complimentary of Anthony. First time I saw him perform here in London, 2012, when he became Olympic champion. So I felt this man is following into my footsteps in a certain way. I've been fighting Olympic champions in the past as Povetkin and Ray Mercer. Whatever the outcome of the fight, as I said, I truly believe that he's one of the best heavyweights right now. No disrespect to another champion, as Parker recently became WBO champion, and Wilder, Deontay Wilder, in WBC, but I think Anthony is absolutely outstanding athlete. And it's great that actually eventually we meet. I really think that, unfortunately, I will remember his name once again, Manuel Stewart, and I told you, Anthony, unfortunately Manuel couldn't see you, and I know he would have been very impressed, and he would love to, meet you as well. So, and I remember Anthony was just, I had Olympic champions in the camp as well, and then the world champions, and so they're always in a certain way self-promoting and showing off, but Anthony was always respectful, and he was, sitting by the side and just watching, learning, observing. So that's quality that probably a lot of people can take as advice. For me, and behavior is an example from Anthony. So very backed off and very, very calm in learning. So asking a lot of questions and learning. So he's still learning. And this process will take a long time. And as long as you live, you learn, and better not never stop learning. So I definitely see difference in the way he boxes, as it was 2 years ago, and he had his past fights. So he's getting the self-confidence. He trains. I see how he trains. He trains with modern technologies. Whatever is out there from different sport arts, he's. So we definitely will perform. I'm sorry for speaking for you, but we will perform for from our best what we can bring in the ring.
You've been a professional for a couple of decades, almost 70 fights. You've fought all around the world, many of them world championships. You've been to London once before, when you beat Monty Barrett on the Lennox Lewis card. What would it mean to be here at Wembley, in the National Stadium, 90,000 people? If you compare it to those nights in Germany that you've had, what would be special about being here next year in England for you?
It is special. It is special to perform here. I'm not at my home, so to say. I'm not in Ukraine, in Germany, or even the States. So it's a different audience on one hand. On the other hand, it's familiar to me because I've been performing here, and this is not the first fight that Vitaly or I had from this country, as Hubby Hyde or David Hay and Chisora and others. So I feel kind of connected and familiar with the audience, and it's definitely something familiar on one hand to fight at the stadium. I've been fighting, probably the biggest stadium was at Shatki with 61,000. I never fought at 90,000 stadium. This is mecca of sport, this stadium, and don't forget about it, boxing came from England, the roots of the sport. So I think kind of arriving at home in a certain way, even if I'm not at home. I definitely feel great about it, that I have this opportunity to have a signature fight. And even if, we mentioned it previously with my age, I do consider it as a number for right now. Let's see what it's going to be in 10 or 20 years, but we can ask also Bernard Hopkins that is fighting very soon in Los Angeles, and he's 50-something now. At 52, I stopped counting because he's definitely an alien. That's my feelings.
Anthony, you have fought here before. I think it was your sixth fight against Matt Legg. There weren't that many people when you were fighting, but you had the experience of being at Wembley. 90,000. Is this the sort of stage you've always wanted to perform on and showcase your talent?
It's a stage you can't dream of. It's a stage that you can't really put into your wildest imagination, but you never know. That's why they say hard work can pay off. And we've been due diligent in the gym and in training and preparation and strategy outside of the ring. That's brought us here. And it's not real until we step into the ring, right? So I have to just put my head down, say my prayers, and just hope that we can make history on April 29th.
There's a great deal of respect between the two, which is
Definitely, yeah.
which is wonderful to see.
These days.
Yeah, and it's good to see.
Yeah.
But when you get into that ring on April the 29th, that changes.
Yeah, most definitely. Utmost respect for Vladimir. Not just from achievements, that's one thing, but as you said, the man that he is. Like we had like Lennox, and now we've got the Klitschko brothers. And then when I was coming through, you have a blueprint to follow, right? So the Klitschkos and Lennox were the type of people that I looked to and took inspiration from. And it's even like my brothers over there in the corner. When we're together, we have the best time. We have a great time. But if he owes me £10, if we're playing FIFA, I'm hounding him down until I win or I get. So it's just how it goes, right? It's just how it goes. Competition, and like we saw with Tresor and Dylan on the weekend, they shook hands after. So we come together, the lions roar, and then at the end of it you shake hands and life goes on. But as I always say with my fights, the best man will win, and destiny's already been written for that fight. It's just fulfilling our goals.
It's the drive inside you, the competition, the hunger that's burning, that wants to make you victorious in this sport time and again.
Yeah, it's more, it's not just in sport, as I said with my guys over there, it's just life in general, wanting the best out of every situation, and that reflects in the sport. So yeah, when it comes down to April 29th, how I've conducted myself now, even until April 29th, even while I'm not in intense training, just my mindset, like we're back on the grind straight away. So that's a winning mentality, and then that's what's helped me that's what's got me through life. In the first place, I made an opportunity out of nothing. So yeah, that will definitely put me in a good way come the fight time.
Vladimir and Vitaly, who've ruled for so long as heavyweight champions, they speak so many languages, they're nice guys out of the ring. Do you want to take that sort of role model process on with you? You know, we see the kids here looking around Wembley today, and that side of it's important, isn't it?
Yeah, I tried to learn Spanish and stopped after 4 lessons, so I'll try learning a different language. It's not easy, you know. But yeah, I'll definitely like to take inspiration from Vladimir. Most definitely, as a man. As I said, boxing's one thing, but as a man, good man, definitely a good man. His brother's doing great things for his country as well. And when it's all said and done, when we're not here, that's all you have is what you've done for people. So yeah, outside of boxing, I'll definitely take inspiration, but in the ring, I have to be my own man.
So talk me through the next few months of preparation for April the 29th. Anything different, or is it, you've always talked about a journey, the fact that you're not just preparing for one person in particular, it's preparing for the ultimate.
Yeah, so preparation, it starts now, in a certain sense, as I said, mentality. And it's a brilliant thing that we're here today because it keeps me in the zone. The great thing about the last camp is that I can take what I had built into my next camp. I'm not going to go back down to zero, but maintain, bubbling quietly, keep strong in certain areas. So when I attack training camp, we're ahead of the game. We've got, as Wladimir said, we've got so much science and data now. That's why I can track and improve each fight, because of the information I've built over each training camp. And that's how I've already started training, because we've been on the phone, we're having a debrief today, and plan for the next couple months.
What will you need to improve on for April the 29th? The fact that obviously you haven't gone 12 rounds yet, that there's little things that you'll maybe gut checks that you may have to go through here. Is that something you can prepare for, or is that something you have to react to on the night?
React to on the night, because I've never been there before. Sparring is completely different to a fight, so I can't really ever say to you, yeah, I've done 12 rounds in a fight. I do it in the gym very often, but fighting's completely different. But how I can prepare differently for this fight, I would say, physically I always train to my best capability, so I'd probably say I'm going to step up my game mentally in this game.
I know you don't like predictions, especially against a guy you like, but I'm going to ask you anyway, what happens April the 29th, Dave?
I'm going to prepare for a 12-round fight, because like this is what experience is and learning. I've said to myself before, yeah, I'm going to go out and blow him out in 2 rounds. Who's this? I'm going to blow him out in 3 rounds, and I'm there 7 rounds later. And that's boxing. So, as I said, mentally, I'm going to be smart and say to myself, I'm going to prepare for a 12-round fight. And that's how I'll attack training camps. So help me get stronger, help me get stronger. I might run 45 minutes, I might run 50 minutes. because I know I'm going 12 rounds. So if I know I'm going 2 rounds, I might run 30 minutes. So I'm going to prepare for a 12 round stuff.
Wladimir, former Olympic champion, so many successes throughout your long career. We remember the David Hay one well, of course, from a British point of view. How important is April the 29th as a night for you in your sporting life?
How many of April 29th I could have? So I'm pretty much limited, or more limited than Anthony. So Anthony's 27, I'll be 41, so how many 29th of April I'm gonna have? To perform, hopefully many, but just to be able to perform. So it's everything to me. And I understand the importance of that, but it doesn't make me go crazy, you know. I will remain calm before the storm comes, and it's definitely a very special date, a very special event, a very special opponent, and a very special arena.
And you believe you will become a three-time champion and regain your belts on this stage?
You're not listening to my English. I'm obsessed with that.
Final thing I want to ask you.
Don't take it personal.
No, fine, not take it personal. Final thing I want to ask you, Wladimir. What has Vitaly said about all this? How excited is he? Or does he think you're mad?
Well, Vitaly just became WBC lifelong champion title, so he's like, yeah, he doesn't need to be challenged, so he has it. He knows that his little bro loves challenges, and he's very excited about it. He looks forward to this fight and this match. And even if he's busy with his job as a mayor, he'll be here on 29th of April and supporting the event, the fight, fans, and television broadcasters that are going to broadcast around the world. So I just want to say, I don't know how many questions you're going to ask me, but I just want to say that it's an amazing thing on first thing that two fighters are not actually saying to each other, whatever I'm going to do with you, you know, and all this show with throwing tables and, you know, punching each other in the face before the fight. So we've seen that. This is a different stage, a different level on a lot of occasions. From the stadium to the worldwide view and broadcasting, as I mentioned before. And I think this is about and out of my age, and I've been in the sport for long enough. We're so even in this fight. I would say it's a 50-50. Our size, our strength, whatever the youth and age, as I said, it's just a number, could go any direction. So we have a competitive fight with two athletes involved that having pretty much the same qualities. Both Olympic champions. Both, one was a champion for a long time, another one is a champion. So I think on different levels, it's a very special event. And I don't know when next time such fight could happen in the heavyweight division. So I'm super excited about it. You probably feel it. I'm on fire. I'm happy. I'm happy that I have this chance to fight 29th of April. And how many of those Aprils I'm going to have on my side, you know, as an athlete, I don't know. But I look forward to it, and I'm very, very excited about it. You should too be excited about it.
We certainly feel that energy. Let's bring your manager in, Bernd Bonte. Bernd, great to see you again. Obviously, he wants it so much. He's obsessed. Are you?
Absolutely. Otherwise, this year I was in your job here in 1995, also as the executive for Premier TV, nowadays Sky in Germany, and was the commentator for the fight between Oliver McCall and Frank Bruno, which was a great night here in Wembley. And but at that time I think we had around 30,000 people. Now we will probably have 80,000, 90,000 people, and a completely modernized, fantastic stadium, and we're really looking forward to this event. I mean, it's great. It can't be better.
How frustrating a year has it been, the on-off obviously fights with Tyson Fury, the disappointment of what happened to Wladimir losing? How have you guys rebuilt? How have you come to terms with that?
I mean, that's more or less a question to Wladimir, and it's also a question to our team at Klitschko Management and K2. I mean, it was very disappointing because Wladimir was ready and trained twice for fights, and each time it was cancelled by Team Fury. Yeah, and that was very disappointing because I think I don't give anything for Fury. I don't care about this guy. But I felt very sorry for Wladimir, who was in camp, trained for weeks, and then always the guy who probably knew weeks before that he will never fight, let him fight, and then pulled the plug. You know, and that was very, very disappointing. But I mean, we won't look back. It's now for this fight, and this is a different promoter, luckily, and a different team on the opposite side, and I'm sure we have very, very good cooperation and looking forward to a fantastic event.
And finally, what about the respect between the pair, which is, it's refreshing, isn't it, to see, as you said, 2 Olympic champions, world champions, and role models, ambassadors for the sport?
I mean, it's so important for this sport, 100%. I mean, we don't want to see what happened at the press conference last week. Nobody needs that. I mean, we need role models. That's what we want kids to train and box, you know. And this is what's not good for our sport, that you have, I mean, you guys, I was a long time on the other side, we like things like that happen because this is something to write about, broadcast about. It's funny, but in the end for the sport and for the athletes it's not good, not at all. Yeah, those things normally don't happen in soccer, in tennis, in other sports. It happens in boxing, and that's absolutely not good. And here, I mean, it's not necessary because everybody, we here on the dice, the journalists, everybody knows that this is the fight. I mean, this is 2 top athletes, 2 super heavyweight Olympic champions performing on a top level. It's a 50-50 fight, as Wladimir said before. I think the same. And this is a promoter's dream come true.
Thanks, Bert. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Adam. Just to finally finish on some details about tickets, we're going to be having at first 85,000 tickets available, some through coach packages as well. They'll start on Friday, this Friday, to Club Wembley customers, and also released next week. And from the week commencing January the 16th, there'll be a further release of around 40,000 tickets. We're already in discussions with the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, who's been very helpful to allow us to get to the 90,000 number. I spoke to his office yesterday, and we'll be making sure we achieve that number, I'm sure. And from our side, I want to thank everybody for just a huge event. I was on the phone with Anthony Joshua this morning, and we were talking about the last 12 months. It's been an incredible 12 months. It was last December when he boxed Dillian White for the British title on a fantastic night at the O2 Arena. He took the gamble to fight Charles Martin on April the 9th at the O2 Arena for the world title, has defended it twice, and has become a huge global star around the world. And it's been a very, very rewarding 12 months. And we always talk about the phases of his career. Well, phase 2 has just ended at the weekend, and we go into phase 3 now. We go into the legacy phase, the phase where you be remembered for being a true champion, for performing on nights at the National Stadium in front of 90,000 people against legends of the division like Wladimir Klitschko. And to echo what Bernd said, and thank you, Bernd, for everything in this association, it's been a joy to work with you and your team. Wladimir Klitschko is a great role model ambassador, but let me tell you what he is. He is one driven individual, and to listen to him talk and to see the determination in his eyes tells me that this is one hell of a tough fight for Anthony Joshua.
You come back Wladimir as well.
I'm keeping my options open. I haven't got around to you yet.
we promote each other, and we promote the sport. I think I like what Bernd said on the big scale. It's great for the sport because the world is crazy anyway, right now, and it's good to have something like that instead of just go nuts and do something stupid.
And coming over to you, your story is inspirational, and I can't wait for you to go out there and perform in front of these people. and the start of all these big fights. I'm so excited, and I can't wait for April 29th to come around. So we're going to have some photos up here now between you guys, and then we're going to go out on the pitch side as well. And when you walk out there and you look around, just imagine this place.